Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
What trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir? A mender of bad souls?
What trade, thou knave? What trade?
Truly, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you!
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Why, sir, indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes to get myself in some more work. But indeed, sir, we make holidays to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph!
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings you home? You blocks, you stones, you worse than pleasant things. Many a time enough have you climbed up to walls and battlements to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And now do you rejoice? Do you now put on your best apparel? Do you now shoot flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone! Pray to the gods to intermit this plague, that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen! They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go ye down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I, let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets.
Calpurnia, would every noise be still? Peace yet again. Calpurnia, here, my lord. Stand you in Antonius's way when he doth run his course. Antonius, Caesar, my lord, forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say the Baron touched in this holy chase shake off their sterile curse.
I shall. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out. Who calls? Peace ho, Caesar speaks. What man is that?
Beware the Ides of March!
Who is it in the press that calls on me?
Soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng, look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak yet again.
Beware the Ides of March!
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of horse?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I have not gained some. I do like some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires.
I'll leave you. Brutus, I do observe you now of late. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I had veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am, which gives some soil perhaps to my behaviors, but let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other thing.
'Tis just, and 'tis very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? She would have me seek in myself that which is not in me.
Therefore, good Brutus, Be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover unto yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of.
What means this general shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Ah, you fear it. Then must I think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me?
I was born as free as Caesar. So were you. We have both fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou now, Cassius, leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow, and so he did. But ere we could arrive at the point proposed, Caesar cried to me, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" Upon my shoulder, from the waves of the Tiber, did I take the tired Caesar, and this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature who must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake, and that same eye whose bend doth all the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me that a man of such feeble temperament should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do fear that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we, petty men, walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men, at some times, are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in the stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar, what should be in that Caesar? Why should his name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Now in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed that he is grown so great? Age, thou art shame!
What she would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you be any further moved. What you have said I will consider, and what you have to say I will with patience hear and find a time both me to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but this much show of fire from Brutus.
Caesar's returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell us what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so. Look you, Cassius. The angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like it should entrain.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius!
Caesar?
Would I had men about me that are fat. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter. And yet I fear him not. But if my name were liable to fear, there was no man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as though he mocked himself and scorned his spirit, which could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he are never at heartsease, whiles they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I only tell thee what is to be feared, not what I fear. For always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
My Casca, tell us what had chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what had chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered, and by with the back of his hand at us, and the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the third cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
I, Mary, wasn't, and he put it by, and each time it was offered, he put it by gentler than the other, and at every putting by, my honest neighbor shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not crown. I saw Mark Antony offer him the crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither, which was one of these coronets. So, as I told you, he offered it to him, and he put it by with the back of his hand. But to my thinking, he would fain have had it. He offered it to him again, and he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. He offered it the third time, and he put it the third time by, but as Caesar refused the crown, the rabblemen hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath that Caesar had refused the crown that it almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. But for my own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad.
Soft, I pray you. What? Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
Which is very like if he had falling sickness.
No,
Caesar hath it not, but you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down.
What said he when he came unto himself?
When he had perceived that the common herd was glad he had refused the crown, he plucked me ope his stoutlet and offered them his throat to cut, and so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said that if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, "Alas, good soul!" and forgave him with all their hearts. There was no heed to be taken of them. If he had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that he came the sad away?
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, I tell you, I'll never look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for my own part, it was Greek to me. I can tell you more news too. Trebonius and Cimber were pulling scarves off Caesar's images. I put to silence. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I am promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive, your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good, I'll expect you.
Do so. Farewell both.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick mental when he went to school. So is he now, in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However, he puts on this tardy form. His rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetites. And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or, if you will, come home to me and I will wait for you.
I will do so.
Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. But I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Therefore it is meet that noble minds meet ever with their likes. Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will, this night, in at his windows throw, in several hands as if they came from several citizens' writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein Caesar's ambition obscurely will be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him or worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? O Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks. I have seen the ambitious ocean swell in rage and foam, but never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest-dropping fire.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you'll know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, yet his hand, not sensible to the fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put out my sword against the capital I met a lion, which did glare at me and went surly by, without annoying me. And there I saw, drawn upon a heap, 100 ghastly women, transformed by their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the street.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the capital tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you that he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca by your voice.
Your ears good, Cassius. What night this is?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
But what do you know? Why do the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting myself unto the perilous night.
And wherefore do you so much tempt the heavens?
You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman, you do want, or else you use not. You look pale, and gaze, and put on fear, and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires? Why all these gliding ghosts? Why all these things change from their ordinance to monstrous quality? Why then, you would see that the heavens hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning. Now could I, Casca, name to you a man most like this dreadful night? A man that thunders and lightens and opens graves and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. A man no mightier than thyself or me.
To Caesar that you mean, is it not Cassius?
Let it be who it is. Our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits. Our yoke and suffrage show us womanish.
Indeed, they say tomorrow the senators mean to establish Caesar as king. He shall wear his crown by sea and land in every place save here in Italy.
I know, where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Know I this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
Indeed, every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his own captain.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? My answer must be made, but I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and as such a man, this is no fleering telltale. Take my hand, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
Now there's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And by this, I know they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For this fearful night there is no stir or walking in the streets.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
'Tis Cinna, I do know him by his gait, being a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that, Metellus Cimber?
This is Casca, one incorporate to our tents. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I am glad, Aunt. Oh, what a fearful night it is. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. O Cassius, if you could but win noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content, good Cinna. Take this, and look you lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's theater where you shall find us.
All but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie and go bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's porch. Come, Casca. You and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
He sits high in all the people's hearts, but what would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will turn to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth, and our great need of him you have right well conceded. Let us go, for it is after midnight. Tomorrow we will see him and be sure of him.
What? Lucius! Cannot the progress of the stars can guess how we are today. Lucius, I say! I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When? Lucius, man, awake, I say! What, Lucius? spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power, and to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affections have swayed more than his reason. Which is a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, which with the climber upward turns his face, but when he once attains the utmost round, he unto the ladder turns his back, and scorns the base degrees by which he did descend. So Caesar may.
The paper burned up in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper that sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again, it is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepst, awake. Such instigations have often been dropped where I've took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? Speak, strike, redress. I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise. If the redress will follow, thou shalt receive thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March has wasted 14 days.
Which is good. Get you to the gate, somebody knocks. Since Cassius first equipped me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma, or a hideous dream.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, you're alone.
Do you know them?
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears and half their faces buried in a cloak that by no means I may discover them by any mortal favor.
Let him enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night when evils are most free? Or then by day where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to hide thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide within smiles and affability.
I think we are too bold upon your arrest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been waiting this hour up all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Aye, every man of them. And no man here but honors you. And everyone doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Julius.
He is welcome hither.
This Julius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca, Cinna, and this Telesimber.
They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes at night?
Might I entreat for?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Pardon, sir, it doth, and yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess that you are both deceived. But here as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a long way growing on the south. Some two months hence up higher, he first presents his fire toward the north, which stands as the capital directly here.
Give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. And what other oath than honesty to honesty engage that this shall be, or we will fall for it. Swear priests and cowards, suffering souls that welcome wrongs. To that causes swear such creatures as men doubt. But do not stain the virtue of our enterprise to think that or our cause or our performance to need an oath.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Let's not leave him out.
No, by no means.
Well, let us have him, for his silver hands will command our deeds, and by men's voices.
Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Well urged, Zacchaeus. I do not think it meet that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We will find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, should he improve them, may stretch so far as to annoy us all. Therefore, to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers. We all stand against the spirit of Caesar. Let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Our purpose necessary and not envious. Which, so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. And as for Antony, do not think of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is well given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die. He will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace, count the clock.
The clock hath stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is unknown whether King Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown as of late, quite from the main opinion he once held of fantasy, of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour. Is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks forget our purposes, and so good morrow to you, everyone.
Brutus! My lord! Portia! Me here! Wherefore rise you now?
It is not for your helpless to commit your addition to the rock good morning.
Nor for yours, neither. You ungently just stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper, you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry watcher of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and with all hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath this hour with every man, it will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed upon your condition? I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by
Why,
it.
so I do. Good Portia, come to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank cold morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night? No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which, by the right and virtue of my place, I ought to know of. And upon my knees, I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what meant I have had to resort to you, for here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
You want to Portia?
I should not mean if you were gentle Brutus. Within the bog of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it expected that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself but, as it were, in sort or limitation, to sit with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If it be true, then I should know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter,
Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound, here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. I shall go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help! Ho, they murder Caesar!" Who's within?
My lord.
Go bid the priest do present sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success.
I will, my lord.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall go forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but at my back. When they do see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There's one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds, drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses did neigh and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose ends are purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these things are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems most strange that men should fear, seeing as death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurs?
They would not have you to stir forth today. Talking the entrails of not bring forth, they could not find a heart within the waste.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. And here comes Decius Brutus now to tell them.
Caesar, all hail! Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come at a most happy time to bring my greetings to the senators and tell them I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afraid to tell graybeards the truth? I will not come. Tell them, Decius.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. Last night she dreamt she saw